What's going on, Nesty Besties? Hey, 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 everybody. How's everybody doing? It's great to see everybody. Welcome to the nest, Ramadan season. Welcome, welcome. Great to see everybody. Even the lurkers, great to see you too. So, Ramadan Mubarak to all of you who are practicing or not, whatever your deal is, whatever you got going on. Right now, this is live. This is circumambulating the Kaaba in Masjid al-Haram in Mecca. This is live right now. Lots of people. Ramadan Mubarak K. Mary. Ramadan season was like the summer saved by the bell. We're probably not gonna go too long tonight. We're only a couple of days in. I have very little energy. Alhamdulillah, thanks to God, I am doing fine. However, but I don't have I want to devote my energy to things that that I should be during Ramadan. And I will be here on YouTube, but you may not get responses from me like on Twitter right away. If I'm just giving you some expectations. I have energy, for certain things, and it won't always be for Grow World during this time. It'll only be a month though. Only a month. So hello, what the fork? Sachi Bell is here. Kitty Connecticut. Yes, we are boycotting John Galt. We absolutely are. Canceled 10 times over. Canceled. How dare he try to be a black man in Gore World? How dare he? Oh, upsetting lots of majority. Well, in Gore World, actually. Oh, yeah. Whatever. Yeah. So, canceled. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Sir Austin is in the nest. Hey, how's it going? We got Wendy, we got Soft Kitty, Kimbalina, Little Seven, Hippiesta, Walaikum Salam, Yake Mary, Darkest Coven's here, NYJ. I love smooth jazz. That's actually what I play for the dogs while when I have to be out. I play them coffee jazz because they're like 12 hours. And it chills them right out. We used to do like the Relax My Dog channel. We don't do that anymore. Yeah. Over Fear is here. Green Dragon. Fatty to Fed. Driving from Baltimore to Richmond. Okay. Yeah. Please just listen. No need to chat. We know you're there. No worries. We got Jern number 6. Ramadan Kareem. And Ramadan Mubarak. Fatty to Fed. Thank you. Green Dragon, Patricia's here, Spooky Von Sweets, Rose Thorn Reacts. How are you, Rose Thorn Reacts? Good to see you. Just Jamie had an awful afternoon. Oh, no. Well, I'm glad you're spending a little bit of the evening with us. Hopefully, we'll make it a little better. Miranda's here. Becca, the clock is off on YouTube. That doesn't surprise me. You asked your dogs what you doing, and all three gave you the side eye and looked at you like you were insane. What the fork? Yeah. I've experimented with it. They don't even respond. Like it's just, yeah. Just like Julia. She ignores her too. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hey, Poison Pettifor. Thank you. Thank you very much. Angel of Glass is here. We got Chaos B, Lori Compton, Sapphire, Lisa Mitchell. You just discovered music for plants? Interesting. Yeah, I hear if you talk to them, it helps. Do the dogs have access to the air fryer while I'm at work? We're never Actually, we don't have an air fryer. Can you imagine? We don't even have one. I have no need for one. I know. Shocking.
At least we don't use the air fryer for frozen food always.
At least in my house, we don't use an air fryer at all. Not at all. Oh my gosh, Big Turks and Quick Twerks, thank you for gifting one Are You Serious membership. Thank you. And it looks like Green Dragon received the gifted membership. Thank you so much, Big Turks and Quick Twerks. Always helping the nest to grow. Much appreciated. Mooney JV, you don't have an air fryer either? Yeah. Same, Little Seven. My oven has a convection setting. And I find like it doesn't cook things as fast as the regular oven. I don't know. So I stopped using it a while ago. It doesn't seem to make a difference for me. But maybe I'm not using the frozen foods for the air fryer. Maybe that is why I need to use the special foods for the air fryer. That could be. It's possible. I don't know. I'm doing something wrong, clearly. Clearly.
At least we don't use the air fryer for frozen food always.
At least. Hello, Jessie Rose. Chantal's hiding from the fork police. She had spoons in her Chicken Gate episode, Spooky Von Sweets. Well, at least she's smartening up a little bit. A little bit. That's your favorite clip? Nice. Hey, Canny K. Ramadan Kareem to you as well. Yeah. Very nice. Very nice. We're going to do a members only live stream. I'm thinking this Saturday coming up. The poll that I put on the members only tab, it looks like most people are towards the Saturday. It's kind of mixed all over. So I think we'll do one Saturday afternoon for a couple of hours. And if you guys want anything specific that you'd like to do, just leave a comment on that thread, or I'll start a new thread on the community tab. And let me know what you guys would like to do. But yeah, it's we had one in January. I guess February completely slipped away from me. We are overdue for a members only live stream. Overdue. So we will get on that ASAP. ASAP, indeed. So we have a couple of things to do today. The first thing I would like to do is some things to consider. If you ever decided, now look, okay, look, just like this person's about to give a disclaimer, okay? Before we get into this video, I want to make a disclaimer. That I'm not a scholar. I'm not here to teach you. And also, I'm not here to recruit you, okay? I'm not. Truly, okay? We give information as we can. We're definitely not pros here, okay? I just, I happen to have reverted many years ago. I know some things. I definitely don't know everything. Kay Mary agrees. None of us are here are scholars, absolutely. And they will always, that's what they do with their whole life and their whole education. So I'm not going to have all the answers. I won't. So I'll do my best, though. I'll do my best. So this is a Muslim revert, okay? And, whoa, she gives, she speaks, I love it. She said so many good things that I was like, yep, I agreed with her on a lot of things that, I didn't know and maybe wish that I had known before reverting. So she does speak English, okay? We don't have to do subtitles or anything of the sort. But I think we might find it interesting. And then we'll get into Chantal's Ramadan celebration. Okay, here we go.
Hi, Phoebe. Do you want to say hi to the people on the camera? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And I hope you're all having a wonderful day. So, yesterday I was sitting down and thinking about the next video I wanted to film for my YouTube. Because usually I make vlogs or inspirational videos or videos to help you guys with something about your deen or your lifestyle. Excuse you. Don't you dare disrespect the Quran, sister. Okay, we'll just close my Quran for a second. But like I was saying, usually I make videos that take...
So you can see in the background there's a holder for the Quran. And like we talked about at one point, it looks like an X sort of. And people were saying, because, in the mosque we sit on the floor. And, if you're not elderly, you're disabled, then you would get a chair, because what if you can't get back up again, right? But we have these holders, they're everywhere, and they keep the Quran up off the floor so you can read, and you can also put it on a tabletop.
A lot of time to edit. But there was something I really wanted to talk about, but I wanted to keep it as simple as possible and not waste time editing it. So I'm going to keep... Sister. Okay, I'm gonna put her down for a second. So I'm going to keep this video shorter because I just want to keep this video simple. I'm not gonna do some crazy edits. I'm just gonna do simple cuts because this video is more about what I'm going to say. This is not to entertain you or make it visibly pleasing. But today I wanted to talk about some things that I wish I knew or someone told me before I reverted to Islam, which is something I think is very important for people that are thinking about reverting or just reverted to hear. But I think it's also very beneficial to Muslims who maybe are struggling with their deen or maybe were lost for a second and are now coming back to Islam. But just...
So as Muslims, we do tend to use a lot of Arabic just in regular conversation because it is the language of the Quran was written in the Arabic. The language of Islam is Arabic. So we do tend to use a lot of Arabic words. And this was something too that I mentioned when we go and research online, you are going to run into a lot of Arabic and it can be very daunting if you're not familiar with the words. So deen just means the faith. The faith.
Any Muslim overall, it's going to be very beneficial to hear these things because it's important to remember these things I'm going to talk about. But especially if you're someone who is thinking about reverting or just reverted to Islam, I think it's important to hear these things for a second, especially coming from someone who reverted themselves. And I did not revert that long ago. I reverted the day, actually a couple of hours before the first day of October. So let's say I reverted the 1st of October. We are now the first day of February. So I've been a Muslim, an official Muslim for 4 months. And the reason I say official Muslim...
Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, Subhanallah. And we give takbir when someone becomes a Muslim, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, which just means God is great. It doesn't mean that a bomb is going off, okay? It just means God is great, literally.
Is because the faith is already there before you revert. So you were already a Muslim a little before reverting, because if the faith wasn't there, you weren't going to revert in the first place. But there are some very common struggles and doubts that come with a lot of reverts or people that are thinking about reverting and they're very they already know that it's the truth and they want to revert, but there are some things that are keeping them from it or making them afraid of reverting. I just wanted to quickly have a talk with you guys about these things that I think are very important. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to talk about is the fear that comes with reverting, because I noticed it in myself, but especially in others as well. So when I reverted to Islam, I started to talk about my reversion to Islam on my social media platforms because I was already posting on social media for over a year as an atheist. So it was natural to me that I would tell you guys about this because I wasn't going to hide the fact that I was a Muslim on my platform. And so many women came to me, and younger girls as well, who just reverted or who were thinking about reverting, asking me I am so afraid and I don't know why. Is this something you also felt? Because I feel weird about the fact that I'm afraid. And I was like, girl, I understand what you're saying so much. And indeed, you feel weird about the fact that you're afraid because you're like, this should feel good, this shouldn't feel like something scary. But the reason that it's so scary is most often either one, because we think it will change our entire life and we will never be able to go back to our old life, or we will be forced to stay in it if we get doubts, or maybe we need to be perfect from the day we revert. Now there's no space for making mistakes. It feels like your entire life is going to change and there's no room for failure or error. Or secondly, because you're afraid because of the reaction of people around you, your family, your surroundings, the country you live in, what might make it difficult for you. Those are the most common two factors that make people very afraid to revert, but there are definitely still other reasons. But the reason I was very, very afraid of reverting was because I always lived as an atheist. So I never believed there was a God. But after researching researching and studying the teachings of Islam and reading the Quran, I came to such a convincement that Islam was a truth and that I could not deny that there was a creator, that I knew that I had to revert, because once you know it's a truth, you're not gonna like just put a blindfold over your eyes. But
That is really something. No, the owl doesn't blink when I blink. Sadly, no. That is, and it's really something that she was an atheist to begin with. Like, wow, that is quite a leap. Quite a leap. But I feel like the same thing. I related so much to her story. I listened to a bunch of different stories, and I related to her the most. I'm not sure where she's from. I'll look it up. But just the like studying and learning, and then the sudden realization of like, oh my God, does this mean I'm Muslim? Can I be Muslim? I don't know if I want to do that. Like, it was a lot. It was a lot. And, but I just continued to ask more questions, more and more questions. And I prayed to God to please give me the answers, make the answers readily available to me. And they were. And there were things that I struggled with. I'm not saying like, oh, everything just fell right in line and everything was perfect. No, there were definitely things that I struggled with. There were things that were very easy for me. It just depends on the person. So, but I got to the same point where I was like, I can't deny that this is the truth for me. Kay and Mary, I remember laughing and crying at the same time when the light bulb went on. Yeah. So I'll just, we'll address a couple of things in the chat as we're going along here. Yep, the Quran should never be placed on the floor. You shouldn't put things on top of it. That's right. Hey, Tehansita, nice to see you. That's okay. Holding on for the tab. I commend you for acknowledging that might be a bias, to have. I commend you for saying that and just admitting it to yourself, that maybe hearing Allahu Akbar makes you think of terrorism, makes you think of bombs going off. That is, if you've grown up, especially I would say in the States, that is what many people have been conditioned to correlate with that. So it's understandable. And, being aware of that and saying, okay, I don't want to think that, but it is like a visceral reaction. But I think being aware of it and saying, no, I'm open-minded. I know, logically that the vast majority of Muslims are not even extremists, let alone terrorists. But it is a conditioning, and it's been very effective. It's been very effective. A lot of people feel that way. So I just commend you for not like pushing it down or denying it. Like it's a real blessing to understand your biases. It really is. Truly. Julia, on the prayer is haram? No. If you're reading what people are saying in certain chats, I would disregard all of it. I am just kind of, I'm watching some chats, like as I'm preparing my thumbnails and things like that. And there is a lot of nonsense. Like praying and filming it is not haram. The cat being on your prayer rug is not haram. No. And, something that also is that not everything can be categorized as either halal or haram. It's just not that black and white. Our religion is not do or die, black and white, 0 or 100. There's many, many areas of gray. And some things just are. They don't have to have a ruling on them. They just are. So, yeah, but I would say if you do have questions, I would definitely just ask a Muslim. It doesn't have to be me. It doesn't have to be Kaya Mary, although she is here often. And there are other Muslims in the chat as well, like juror number 6. When Marwa is here, there are many here. So, someone will be able to answer. But if I'm not live, there are other resources. And Nightbot is putting a link in the chat. Just like if you want to learn generally about Islam, there's a link that's going out in the chat. I'm not the source at all. You can definitely search other resources. Definitely. But I would stay away from regular chats that are just kind of putting down Chantal, and people are not are not interested in the religion in those chats for the most part. How does one feel about Ramadan? Is it something you look forward to? Is it a joyous time or serious about the endeavor? It really does depend on the person. It depends on the person. It is usually seen as a time that, we are in devotion to God. So for myself, I tend to not want to engage in frivolity very much, because when you're fasting, you're very, very focused. And sometimes it's just enough to get through the day. So some things I just won't even pay attention to, where normally I would entertain it. Like, I'm not doom scrolling on social media during this time, because I have better things to be doing with my time. So, but it's everyone's a little bit different. Some people really are really into it. They look forward to it, like, mashallah. This is when we use mashallah. I'm acknowledging the blessing that someone has. If it's truly a joyous time for them, they have their family around them. It's all good, For me, I don't have any Muslims around me, so it's a little bit different for me than it might be for other people. So it's a good time for me to focus in general, refocus, get back in focus on the deen, the faith. It is, for sure. But a lot of people do really look forward to it, and really, it's like the best month of the year for them. That's awesome for them. Awesome. Cats are allowed in Mecca. Yep, they are. How far is my closest masjid? There was one about 30 minutes away. I think it closed. They were building one about 25 minutes away. I contributed to that. I think the project has stalled. And the reason for that, everybody, is that we don't take out loans with interest. So even when you're building a mosque, you're asking for donations from the Muslim community to help to build it. So they build it little by little by little. So we did have some vandalism, unfortunately. The windows were purchased and they were starting to install the windows, and someone came by and smashed them all. So windows, I mean, God forgive them, So, but I would say the masjid that I most closely identify with is about an hour and 15 minutes away, maybe an hour and a half away or so. So I don't go there very often. But I do typically go during Ramadan, and for the charity fundraisers, I do like to go to those. Yeah. So, and then if you don't go very often, you're not a known person there. So, I do the best that I can, but it definitely helps to have some community around you, for sure. It does. Yeah. All right. I'm going to continue to play here, and I'll continue to scroll through the chat to look for questions.
But I was so afraid because in my...
Oh, are you there?
And I was like, okay, but what if I revert to Islam and I dedicate myself to this religion, I stay away from haram and I stay close to halal, and I, base my life decisions around this religion, and then I die and there's no God, which is something that I now know will never happen. But at that point, I still had that doubt. But then I told myself, you know what? Even if I revert to Islam and I dedicate myself to this religion, I take it into practice in every single thing I do, it becomes a very big part of my life, and then I die and I just am dead and there's no God, I still would be happy that I revert to Islam. Because first of all, it's not going to change that much when it comes to who you are as a person. It will actually only make you a better person, because it teaches you to take good care of the elderly and your family. It teaches you to take good care of the people in need. It teaches you to speak with a respectable manner and not get angry at people and not say hurtful things to people. The ground foundation of who you need to be as a person in Islam is only good things. So first of all, it will only make you a better person and get rid of your bad habits. And second of all, the teachings that Islam gives us, like praying 5 times a day, giving zakat, so donating to the people in need, fasting, and doing all of these things that are very important in Islam, are things that only have a positive impact on your life, because fasting is very healthy for you and makes you more conscious about the fact that you need to be grateful for the things that you have, because there are people that live like this every single day. Praying is like meditation for atheists. It grounds you and it makes you aware of the fact that the things that you stress about in life are not that important actually, and it's important to ground yourself at times of the day. And just all of these things only have a good impact on your life and only make you a better and more selfless person. So I thought to myself, okay, so what if I die and Islam was not the truth? I still would have lived a life of a respectable person who took care of others and who did things that were good for not only herself, but also others and the world. Because we also need to take good care of every single creation, the nature, the insects, everything. And that gave me a boost of confidence to revert to Islam, because I was like, even if it's not the truth, I will only become a better person because of this religion. And now that I have reverted and I've been a Muslim for 4 months now, I am so convinced and I know in my heart and in my soul that Islam is the truth. So naturally, this doubt will also go away. And with this thing, I wanted to talk about the second thing, which is perfection, which does not exist in human beings. The only thing that holds perfection is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As a revert, you tend to strive for perfection, or you feel like you need to strive for perfection and that there's no place to fail or sin or make errors, because you're now committing yourself to this religion, so you want to respect it and take care of it and handle it in a good manner. First of all, perfection does not exist, so don't put so much pressure on yourself.
I really have to stop to emphasize that. It is extremely overwhelming to take on a whole new, because Islam is not just, a Friday thing, it's a whole entire lifestyle. Hey, Marwa, nice to see you. Ramadan Kareem. And like she's saying, it can be very overwhelming, and you can't expect yourself to be perfect and to do everything correctly right out of the gate. You're not going to. There's so much to learn and so much to know. It can be extremely overwhelming. She gives some really good advice in here, but I wanted to go back to something she put up on the screen as she was talking. It says the goal should, of course, never to be to sin, but you cannot expect yourself to be free from sin, because we are created weak and we all sin. Facts. It's not our goal to sin, but inevitably we will, because we're human. We are created weak. We are not God.
To fail or sin or make errors, because you're now committing yourself to this religion, so you want to respect it and take care of it and handle it in a good manner. First of all, perfection does not exist, so don't put so much pressure on yourself. One lifetime is not nearly enough to learn everything that there is about Islam. Scholars will focus on one specific thing. So you have scholars that specified in hadith. There are all of these different things in Islam, but not a single Muslim in this world will ever know or be able to take into practice every single thing that there is about Islam. So don't think that now that you're a Muslim, you need to know everything and be good at everything. That is impossible. And also, it's very important to know that you don't need to be a perfect Muslim or a practicing Muslim before reverting to Islam. There are 5 pillars in Islam, and the very first pillar of Islam is Shahada, so your faith. That is a very first step of your faith and of the religion that.
And the Shahada is the testimony of faith, where we say, La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. I believe that God, I testify that God is the one God. There's no other God but God, and that Muhammad, peace be upon him, is his prophet and messenger. That is the number 1 pillar to Islam.
You're going to take part in. That's a literal pillar of Islam. That's not just the Shahada, that's the first pillar of Islam. The second pillar is your Salah, so your prayer. But the first thing is your Shahada. So the very first step of becoming a Muslim is just simply the faith. The practices and the prayer and everything else will naturally come afterwards, and is something that you can do at your own pace, at your own time, and that is going to take a long time and a lot of practice. But the first thing is your Shahada. You shouldn't be worrying about wearing a hijab or being able to pray perfectly or being able to understand the Quran perfectly before reverting to Islam. No, there are so many people that haven't even touched the Quran before reverting because they simply just had the faith already. And the reason why it's so important to not put off your shahada is because I know this is going to sound like harsh, but tomorrow is never promised. We will always think like, oh, I'm young and I still have such a long life to live and I'm healthy, so I can put it off as long as I want because nothing will happen to me. But that is not true. The reason that we will die is just because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decided that that was a time that we need to return to Him and we have lived our life on this earth. So you can think you have all of this time in the world to make this decision and like put it off as much as you want, but that's not the truth. So that's why it's important to not push it off because you feel like you're not good enough yet or you need to be able to do all of these things before you revert to Islam. The most important thing that there is your faith and your intentions. So if you have the faith, just take your shahada. You can do it on your own in your bed at home. There's no one else that needs to be witnessing it because the one true witness that is the most important is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then afterwards you can start getting into your prayer or learning things about Islam, and you can do it at your own pace, baby step at a time. This takes time and this takes practice. I promise you, when you take your shahada, first of all, nothing will change. Nothing will change. You're still the same person. You're still in the same room. You still have the same family. Of course, there are going to be tests and challenges that you're going to have to face, like for example, disputes with your family or your surroundings, or having a difficult time adjusting to certain things like wearing the hijab, for example. Those things will come, but they will come at their time, just like we face any difficulty in life that doesn't have to do with Islam. You don't need to be afraid of that. It will be difficult at times, but it will only make you a stronger person and a stronger Muslim. You need to allow yourself the time to adjust to the rules and the habits of Islam. When you revert to Islam, everything will start falling into place naturally, and these practices will come naturally to you. At the beginning, everything will feel so overwhelming, but once you sit down and just like decide, okay, I'm gonna focus on this one thing right now, and then I'm gonna get into the next thing, it becomes so much easier, and you can just like nitpick at little things in this one specific thing you want to focus on, and make sure you like have this ground base of control over this certain thing, like salah, for example. Afterwards, everything will come naturally to you.
I really agree with this. So look at the light beams that are coming across. I really agree with this. If it's hard to learn everything about everything, if not impossible. So this is kind of what I did also. Like, I'm interested in this topic right now. So I'm going to dive deep into this, and I'm going to learn as much as I feel comfortable learning, as much as I want to learn, because you can always go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And then I'll back out again and like, okay, and it will just come naturally. Like, for a while I was like, oh my gosh, halal food. Like, oh, that's so overwhelming. I don't live in an Islamic country right now. Everything here is like, you're going to check everything. But you find there are websites, there are things to look for. And over time, it becomes easier and easier. So relationships, if you want to get married, how do you go about marrying a man if you're not allowed to date unchaperoned as a 40-something-year-old woman? How do you do that? And then you dive deep into that. Okay, all the things that you're interested in, just take dives and then come back out and dive into something else.
Second thing I wanted to talk about is that you don't need to take too many things into practice at the same time, because this is a mistake that I personally made that made it so much harder for me, and I sabotaged myself by doing this. So the second pillar of Islam is salah, is your prayer, and this is, in my humble opinion, the most important practice that there is, because our Prophet ﷺ told us that the thing that separates the believers from the disbelievers is salah. So I think the very first and most important thing you need to focus on after taking your shahada is your salah, is your prayer. Don't overwhelm yourself with all of these practices, because at the beginning it feels so overwhelming. For me now, everything feels so comfortable and natural because I'm so used to all of these things, and it became a practice in my everyday life. But
I don't think she's giving herself enough credit. She says she's been Muslim for 4 months. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot. That's true enthusiasm for the deen, for the faith. Absolutely. True enthusiasm to know that much at 4 months. All right, going back through for a couple of the questions. Okay, Kay Mary's listening in. All right. Spooky Von Sweets. You realized yesterday how many Muslim people and channels on YouTube you've been watching even before, Chantal. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, Forever Fetus Toenail. I was raised Catholic, atheist now, but so much of the old routine still served me in terms of just having that routine via meditation, like the rosary. Interesting. Yeah. 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 How did wearing my first hijab feel? Big Turks and quick twerks. Well, it wasn't when I was Muslim, I'll tell you that. I was in Egypt, and my dog wants to go out. My former partner and I were going into a neighborhood that I was already covered, but I needed to, like, because at the time I had like bright blonde hair, so it really stood out. So one of the ladies in the shops, like, it was not like a shop you would think of. I don't even know how to describe it. Not what you're thinking. These places have been built into these walls for hundreds and hundreds of years. And my former partner asked this woman to help me. Could you help cover her hair? So she draped a scarf over me, and I instantly felt so special. I felt like I was blushing almost. And she wrapped it around, and she was so gentle and like making sure like all my hair was under the scarf and that like I was comfortable, and I just felt special. And I just like I felt like I was smiling and like, oh, this is, but I was wearing 3/4 length sleeves. I wasn't wearing long sleeves. And my ex-partner said, this is how they'll know that you're not Muslim, but that you are respecting the neighborhood and being a little more modest than you would need to be normally. So that's how I felt. I'm going to let the doggy out just a sec.
Beginning, everything is new, so it feels so overwhelming. Trying to be able to take every single thing into practice at the same time is going to make it so much harder to take all of these things into practice, number one, and to do it good and properly with a good intention, secondly. So yeah, I took quite a lot of things into practice at the same time and quite fast, and in the end, alhamdulillah, it all ended up well, and I still take these things into practice, and now it feels very comfortable. But it did make it harder and more uncomfortable for me because I had so many things to focus on at the same time and so many things to adjust to at the same time. Just focus on your prayer first, but really getting a good ground base on your salah before going into anything else. This is going to help you so much in your daily life because this is a moment you ground yourself and you have a connection, a straight connection to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You can make dua during your prayers to ask him to make it easier for you or to guide you. This is just such an important and crucial part of Islam and of your personal connection to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it's the thing that separates us from the disbelievers, and it's also something that takes quite some time to take into practice because there's a lot you need to learn. I promise you everything will fall into place like it should because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the most merciful and the best of planners. So put your trust with him, make dua to him to make it easier for you and to guide you, and just focus on your salah first. Okay, so after you did your shahada and you started to practice your salah, your prayer, I think it's very important to be careful about who you tell and at what time you tell them, because I
can't agree more. I can't agree more. Hey, BB True. By the way, BB True provided at least one of the owls in today's thumbnail with the cute little red dress. She gave that to me a while ago, and I've been waiting for the perfect moment. I think Ramadan is it for an owl to be wearing a cute little red dress. Thank you, BB True. Thank you, thank you. One unicorn, is there a reason behind women wearing different looking hijab? Is it just a fashion style? I live in a very Muslim area of the US, but the women wear a much smaller looking hijab than this woman. Everybody, it's a personal style, pretty much. And when it comes down to it, there will be more coverage options for certain ways of practicing the religion. But in general, a woman wears what she feels comfortable in. Yeah.
Decided to tell my parents very, very early on, like a week after I reverted. And I also told it to the entire internet because I was on social media, because I didn't want to lie. And while I was very happy that I told everyone, because it felt like a weight had been lifted off my shoulders, I didn't have to lie or hide anything, it also made it a million times harder, because now you had people watching over your shoulder how you were adjusting to Islam. I was getting millions and millions of questions. I was getting judgments. People felt like I was going too fast, and they had a lot to say about the things that I was doing. And also, I didn't want to be a bad representation of Islam, because now that they knew that I was a Muslim, I didn't want to do things that were not considered halal or good in Islam. For example, being impatient or being rude are things you should not do in Islam. But of course, no Muslim is perfect, especially if you're a revert. You still need to adjust to these things and learn these things. So I didn't want to be impatient, because I was scared that they would think that it's okay to be impatient or to be a rude person in Islam. So I immediately felt like I needed to be a perfect representation of Islam, because I wanted to give these people a good image of Islam. Even though that's not my job, I needed to focus on my process myself and not be worried about everyone else. But because I told everyone else, I was so worried about how they would perceive Islam and how they would perceive me as a Muslim, that I felt extra pressure and like I needed to be perfect all the time from the beginning. So yeah, I would be careful about when you tell people and who you tell it to. If you, for example, have someone you know that will support you and won't have any judgments, or if you have a Muslim friend that helped you through your journey, of course you can talk with them about it. But if there are people in your life that you know are going to make it harder for you in the beginning when you're still adjusting to everything, then I would suggest maybe keeping it to yourself for a little while, just so you have more space to make errors and fail and just learn it on your own, instead of feeling like you need to explain everything and like you need to defend your religion all the time.
Yep.
So yeah, take...
Yes. Chantal, listen. You don't have to keep exposing how much you don't know. You don't have to keep exposing yourself. I love this lady. She's absolutely 100% right. The more you talk about it with people in general, okay, I didn't even want anyone on my channel to know that I was Muslim. I was like, I'll just talk about the culture and I'll talk about Islam, but not from like a personal, perspective, because I knew the judgment was coming, and it does still to this day. But, so, because I deal with it with the people that I do know in real life as it is. And a lot of people don't know that I am. And she's absolutely right. You will have all kinds of, just look at, in general, the community and the things that they have to say about how Chantal is practicing Islam. Is Chantal a good person in general? We don't think so. We have seen a track record of some pretty horrible things. But when it comes to people picking apart how she's practicing or not practicing Islam, it's like these people who are saying these things, and I'm not just talking about creators, really don't know. They just want to say she's bad, she's doing bad things. And unfortunately, Islam is on the table right now when it comes to Chantal, unfortunately for most Muslims. But you don't have to feel offended on our behalf, okay? You don't have to. I'm not offended by Chantal in the way she practices or doesn't practice. I am surprised at times. And I think if I was at her current level, no matter how I felt about the deen, I would probably keep more of it private. She says she wants to keep certain things private. This would be a thing that I would keep more private if I don't have a lot of knowledge. My religion is something that I keep private in my daily, everyday life. There's no reason to go around proclaiming what my religion is, just to have people say, oh, but you do this. Oh, but you don't do that. You do this. Well, I didn't see you pray at this time. Yeah, I have my period. How much do you really need to know about my life? So, totally agree with her. Just like, keep it quiet. Don't make big announcements, especially when you first reverted. Get to know other Muslims, and other Muslims will judge you as well, because they come from different cultures that may be applying cultural things instead of religious things, saying, oh, well, in Sudan, we do this. Okay, but is that really Islam, or is that being Sudanese,
Take it at your own pace and see when you want to tell the people that are closest to you, because it can have an impact on your journey and it can make it harder. And the very last thing I wanted to talk about is being very careful about your sources. So when I first reverted to Islam, and before I reverted to Islam, I got most of my information from either people in my life that were Muslim, or when I was on my own, I would do all of my research online. So going to Muslims in your life is great and they can help a lot, but you need to keep in mind that they're not scholars, except if they are, of course. So you need to be careful that you don't go to these people too much if they're not knowledgeable enough. And also, there are so many scholars online, imams and sheikhs, that are very popular and very well loved amongst a lot of people, that spread so much misinformation, or that talk about things that they're actually not educated enough to talk about. Because like I said, each scholar is specified on a different subject. They don't know everything about Islam. There was literally a scholar, I'm not going to call names, but there was a scholar who is very, very popular, which I really love to listen to, who was literally making up hadiths or talking about hadiths that were not authentic or like certified at all. And it's very dangerous to follow people that spread misinformation or talk about things that are not trustworthy enough, because if you're going to believe these things, you're maybe going to take things into practice or trust things that are not actually true. So, be very, very careful, because 99.9% of the scholars that I used to listen to, who were all very, very popular and very well loved on the online community, I don't listen to anymore, because they either spread misinformation or talked about things they shouldn't talk about, or they literally sold their souls. And what I mean by that is, since the 7th of October, there were some people, scholars actually, who literally said that we shouldn't boycott because they have ties to the companies that we are boycotting and they don't want to lose money. So you're literally putting your bank account above the lives of our brothers and sisters in Palestine. That just goes beyond me. So be so careful with the sources you're getting your information from, because there's so much misinformation out there. And there are also Muslims that mix up culture with religion, which is not something you should do at all. For example, in Morocco, it's tradition to have a very big wedding party with a lot of glitz and glam and a lot of money spent on your wedding. But in Islam, it's actually sunnah to have a small, simple, and cheap wedding. So, people mix up their culture, sometimes even their haram culture, with the religion. But if you're a new revert and you don't know any better, and you're going to start following culture because this Muslim told you that this is Islam, then you're going to be misled and put on a wrong track and follow wrong teachings. So know the difference between culture and religion. And if you listen to people online or get information online, which is totally not wrong, but if you do, make sure to fact check before you listen to them. And if you're wondering about which Quran is good, I've heard that the Clear Quran in English is a very good one. I actually want to purchase it myself. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Those are the things that I wish I knew before I reverted to Islam, because I could have prevented so much harmful things and mistakes if I just knew these things beforehand. But you learn by making mistakes and failing. I hope you liked this video. It was much longer than I thought. I thought I was going to be talking for 3 minutes, but I think I've been talking for like an hour. But yeah, I hope this was beneficial to you, and please be kind to yourself. I know reverting to Islam can be a very scary thing and can be very overwhelming at the beginning. Just make sure you surround yourself with good and supportive people, and that you're not too hard on yourself, and that you don't overwhelm yourself. You can always send me a DM on Instagram. I always try to check and answer every single DM. If I see that someone has like a genuine question or genuinely has something they want to talk about, I always try to answer. I truly hope this video was a bit beneficial to you. I hope it wasn't too boring, but I just found it very important to talk about this, and I wanted to keep it simple and raw. I hope I will see you in the next one as well. I love you guys. Bye.
Okay. So it is Dean with Lily. She has a TikTok, she has an Instagram, and this is her YouTube channel. So definitely check her out. I definitely vibe with her. I do. The kitty looks magical. Yeah, it looks like glitter. It does. It does. So yeah, we do have some contributions to the thumbnail today. We do. So let me put that up on the screen. I love it when Nesty Besties contribute to the channel. It's awesome. Awesome. She is lovely. She really is. I watch, especially for preparing for Ramadan, I watched a lot of channels. There's a lot of Muslimas out there. but there's a lot that I don't relate to at all. So they're just living, you know, they're just like different people. They're doing different things in their lives, you know. But I think she is probably quite a bit younger than me, but I just relate so much to her path and being overwhelmed and just taking things one at a time and things that she's learned and able to pass on. Some mistakes that she made, you know, can help other people from not making the same sort of mistakes. It's great. Oh, actually, let me put up the hijab slideshow while I'm doing that. So these are different styles. If you've been in the nest for a while, you have seen these. Hey, Intensive Purpose. How's it going? And everyone else who has come in, Hippiesta. We got Holding On for the Tab. We got Rachel. You're eating iftar right now. Ramadan Mubarak. Everyone else that I may have missed as you're coming in. But yeah, if you've been in the nest for a while, you have seen most of these pictures. But for those who are new, we do have some new nesties. Welcome, by the way. These are all different styles of hijab. And like we were saying, you know, it can be the coverage amount can have to do with your way of practicing the religion, and some of it's going to be style and fashion, and some of it's going to be just what you feel good in, what you feel confident in. Like, it's not slipping and sliding all over the place, that you look good in it. I mean, look at this woman in the dark blue. Psh, amazing. Hey, Over Fear. Hey, Jennifer Levine. How's it going? So, let me pull up that thumbnail that we received contributions for. It's amazing the AI, like what different people will get from it. It's so funny. So cute. So this is Chantal's living room as of like the other day. You can see on the table we have the sweets. The sweets. Oh yeah, also, my gosh. We have other things to celebrate and to discuss also for the people who really thought they were pistachios, that it was a pistachio type of sweet. You were right. You were right. I thought for sure there was no way. I'm like, nah, no way. But yes, it was true. Because she told us in her video what they actually were called. And I looked them up, and some of us are really big on semantics in the community, okay? I found a picture that looked most like it, what she said it was. It happened to have a different wrapper on it. It doesn't mean that it's not the same food, okay? I'm not solving, a big crime here. We're just trying to identify what's on the table. That's it. Oh, let's see. Where are the pistachios? I am a little, I don't know how to say it. A little, low on brain energy, I guess, would be the best way to say it. So, but I'll get into the groove in the next few days or so. But I will not disappear altogether. I may take little breaks here and there depending on how I'm feeling, because it can be a lot. Oh, where's the Pistachio Mountain? I put it on the community tab for the members. Like, where does stuff go? Where does it all go? Well, let me put up Chantal in the meantime. And we'll see how her Ramadan is going the first few days. I'm sure it's going swimmingly. I have no doubt. Ramadan 2024 vlog.
أهلا
Oops.
رمضان.
Okay. Ramadan. Ramadan. He tries. He tries, probably. BB True, thank you for gifting an Are You Serious membership. Thank you so much. And welcome to Forever Fetus Toenail. Fantastic. Welcome. And Just Jamie also just gifted an Are You Serious membership. Thank you, Just Jamie. Thank you. And it looks like Paraic received that. Thank you so much. And welcome. And if you are new to the nest, be sure to check out your member welcome video for new members. And did BB True just gift another one? What? Did you really? Yeah, she did. Oh my gosh. Thank you, BB True. Thank you. Who received it? My gosh. Rachel did. Congratulations, Rachel. And thank you, BB True. Is this for you, Rachel? Woohoo! Thank you, BB True. Helping the nest to grow. Thank you. And welcome, Rachel. I thought Nightbot was going to get it. Showed up right below you. Ramadan. You want to hear the woof woof in there? I think someone has done it. I want to say, I'm not sure. Not a live channel. Thank you, BB True. You're the best. You'll blast it. There you go. I know you love it.
Hi, welcome back to another video. Hello, assalamu alaikum. Welcome to a Ramadan vlog. You might hear some fan noise in the background. I apologize, it's Kuwait, it's hot here. So here is a suhoor recipe I made. It is a frittata. It was actually...
She made a frittata. It's a frittata, 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 frittata. Okay, Chantal, great. All right. So she's, I'll explain on her behalf. Suhoor is the meal that we eat just before the dawn prayer. Because as of dawn, we start fasting. So it's good. You have to get up. You got to drink some water. You have to eat something. You pray Fajr. You can go back to sleep if you want to. But you got to eat your last thing before Fajr. And I'm just going to show you some prayer times so it's a little more relatable. And if you're on a phone, I apologize. There's no way you're going to be able to see this. But this is, I'll read it out though. So this is just a little graphic that I made this afternoon just to kind of show you what prayer times look like. So at the very top, okay, we have the day of the week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and we're on the 12th of March, which is the first day, full day of Ramadan. So Fajr is at 5:28 a.m. on the East Coast. So 5:30 in the morning, right before that, like 5:15, 5 a.m., you want to get up, you want to have suhoor, which is what Chantal is saying her frittata is. Okay. Then, so there are 5 mandatory prayers. Okay. Dur is the next one, just like around 1 o'clock, 12:55. Asr is in the mid-afternoon usually. It's 5:01 right now. Maghrib is the evening prayer, which is the sunset prayer, and 6:50 p.m. So this is when we break the fast, and you'll see that Fajr is bolded, as is Maghrib. So between these hours, we are fasting between 5:28 a.m. and 6:50 p.m. on the east coast of the U.S. The last prayer of the day is Isha, and today it was at 8:22 p.m. And then I also just added something here saying about prayer direction, and we'll get to that when it comes up in the video. Let me make it a little bit bigger also, because oops, I understand it's like pretty tough to see. Okay, so at the bottom here, this is for congregation prayers. So it's saying from March 12th to March 14th, meeting at 6 a.m. for Fajr, and it's going to go earlier and earlier as the sun rises earlier in the day, because especially now where we are in daylight savings time. Dhuhr is going to be a congregational prayer, 1 o'clock on weekdays, 1:30 on weekends. At the very bottom, you see Jummah Khutbah is at 1 p.m. and 1:45 p.m. This is the Friday prayer. This is the main prayer of the week. We have Maghrib at sunset and Isha on between these dates at these times. So if you want to pray in congregation, these would be the times to go to this particular mosque. And we'll get to the direction when we get to that portion of the video.
Very delicious and
Come on, Chantal. What are you doing over there? Come on.
satisfying.
Okay.
And healthy.
Satiating.
Hello guys, Ramadan Kareem. Welcome to the first day of Ramadan. Fasting has officially begun. It is post Fajr here, and this is my new jilbab, and it's very comfortable. I love the material, very flowy. And I'm just gonna show you a bit of the decorations we just did. We just did a few simple things. So here are some little living room decorations. We have some lanterns. This one sings. Okay, with the light on, we have some man wa salwa. It's like a nougat with pistachio, Arabic treat, and some
Not weed. It's not weed. Apparently.
mamoul covered in white chocolate, date biscuits, the Holy Quran, and we just put these up like Ramadan decoration. All right, we also found these twinkly lights, Ramadan lights that we had from last year, if you remember, and Salah was able to fix them because they weren't working. So yay! So going out the day before Ramadan starts is probably not a good idea, or you're going to encounter a lot of traffic jams. This one wasn't too bad, but it was still bad enough. We were still delayed.
So it's a little bit out of sequence. I don't know if it's because she's fasting, she's just not really paying attention, but this tends to be the kind of videos that she makes anyways, where they're in traffic, they're traveling, she doesn't say where they're going. She's saying they were delayed, but then this clip afterwards is from across the street. This is the little masjid across the street where the beach is. So I don't know if she knew about the sequence or just didn't care or whatever. So she does say that those were some kind of pistachio treat, okay? And this is the prize for the nesties who insisted they were pistachios. Yay! So Azalea said she wanted a prize for being one of the owlettes or nesty besties that stuck in and said, no. Callie Cat was one of them. Yep. that, no, we think they're pistachio. And I'm like, nah. And you're like, yeah, we think so. So Azalea said the prize she wanted was a picture for the next live stream of the owls and the pistachios. And she wanted them to be having fun. And for some reason, AI does not understand fun. I don't know. You'll share them, Azalea? That's very nice of you. Kelly Cat held to it. Yep. We knew. And there's like 5 owls. And there's a mountain of pistachios. Yeah. Look at the owls. And there's pistachios even in the air flying around. Good times. So congratulations, owls that stuck to their guns. Said it is definitely our AI does not understand fun. You really got to be specific. And they don't understand animals smiling either. So it's tough. Yep.
All right, time to prepare iftar. And I'm doing this at around 3 p.m., even though iftar is at 6, because I want to make my stock for the rice from scratch. I'm making an Uzi style rice and chicken. So I'm going to start by adding a whole chicken in a pot with some water, onion, bay leaf, and a carrot. And I'm going to let that boil down and simmer until I have a nice stock I can use for the rice. I'm going to top the rice with some toasted almond slivers, and I've just dusted them in some cumin and a little bit of sea salt, and I'm just going to toast them in the dry pan until they are nice and toasty. I'm adding to a pot some soaked basmati rice. I soaked it for about 30 minutes with some butter and a little bit of oil and also some turmeric.
Butter and oil and almonds. Oh my Chantal, just because it's Ramadan doesn't mean that you are healthy all of a sudden. Please. You appreciate the validation, Lilith, about the pistachio? You're welcome. You're welcome. I can admit when I'm wrong. Absolutely. That's what is so awesome about the nestigation, you know? Like all the owls contribute. You have your own thoughts and ideas, and you never know what it's going to turn out to be. So, yeah, you guys, you did great. Pay attention to that chicken, little 7. Okay. You've had a lot of luck with the realistic, excited white snow owl worshiper. So excited sounds like it's the key phrase, huh? Mm-hmm. You feel threatened? Miss Mac, going from the owl pick to this was a bit jarring. I'm sorry.
To give it that yellow color. And now I'm adding the broth. Look how nice my chicken broth turned out. It smells amazing. And, you know, I usually use just those like bright yellow bouillon cube.
What is that floating around in the pot, though? Is that like a clump of rice? Or is it the butter that hasn't melted yet? It does look oily, Jag. Oh, hey, Lucy Jane.
Sorry, my cat's playing with a bag in the background. But this looks so much more appetizing in my opinion. All right,
so is the heat even on? And is the heat even on in the stove? Like, butter doesn't take that long to melt. Oh my God. I don't know. I don't even know anymore. I don't even know. Oh my God. How do you pronounce it? Cumin or cumin? I don't know. I have no idea. I would say it both ways. If I had to say it, I don't know. Because I used to say cumin. Did I? Or cumin? Potato chips that they had in Egypt. You can't find them around here, though. It was probably a lot of butter, right, Kitty? That was probably the last left that hasn't melted yet. Yeah.
Here is our first iftar. Ramadan Kareem, everybody. So, to start off, to drink, we have water, of course. We have some Vimto, some
Vimto, which is fruit, which is a sugary drink, I believe. She's a chicken liar, Jag. Wow. What accusations. My goodness. Okay. Yeah, I agree, Callie Cat. The chicken breast itself is a very different size. And unless it cooked all the way down, this looks like a different chicken. This looks like a very different chicken. And those sambusak in the left corner are looking a little overdone. I don't know what happened with those. I don't know. She said that was one of the Ramadan staples that she was going to be preparing in advance. But that was part of the grocery haul, the boxes of frozen sambusak. So I don't know how they got burned in the oven, in the air fryer. Is that even a thing? Can you burn things on the edges in the air fryer? Can you? I don't even know.
At least we don't use the air fryer for frozen food always.
The chicken is a lie. Those frozen squares were in her last haul. They were not homemade, Thea Marie. Yeah. I mean, why would you make them if you can buy them so readily,
Chicken noodle soup, which I won't be having. And this is chicken uzi, and it's a flavored rice. You saw how we made it with the chicken stock, with some parsley and almonds. Hi there, editing Mariam here. I just wanted to add...
Editing Mariam. So she has truly embraced the new name. You may have noticed that the revert that we just watched, she doesn't mention taking on a different name because you're not a different person. So I really don't know what that's about. I wondered that too, Catsy. Why is she saying she's not going to have any of the chicken soup? Why? It's a lot of vermicelli in there. A lot.
You're probably wondering how I got the chicken to be kind of, well done like this. Well, I did use it in the stock, as you saw, so then it kind of like simmered and boiled. And then I cut it into quarters and seasoned it again, brushed it with a little bit of olive oil, and put it into a 400-degree oven for another 20-25 minutes or so. And it turned out like this, nice and roasted. And some
Sure did.
chicken. We have some feta cheese sambu.
Yeah, the sambusak is definitely overcooked. I don't know about the air fryer. It looks like maybe those were done in the oven. But she said they're filled with feta. Okay.
Some homemade fattoush.
Now, I was really intrigued when she said she made homemade fattoush. Did she make this herself? I don't know. But normally the lettuce would be diced up more. And the croutons wouldn't look so croutons. They're like fried pita, basically. And everything would be diced up a little more. And I'm curious if she used like the sumac for the salad, because that's what really adds the fattoush flavor.
And some yogurt. Julia, I'm gonna have to...
So you'll see down here, it says day 2 door, and that's what we just talked about with the prayer times. So this prayer is at, well, it's going to be a little bit different in Kuwait, but on the east coast of the U.S. right now, that would have been just before 1 p.m., about 2:55 p.m. in the afternoon. So just to, because I noticed she's saying yes, we wake up, we eat, we have Fajr, and she's confusing sunrise with Fajr, and there's a lot of just terms being thrown around that don't really make sense. So that's why I wanted to give you a visual of like how the prayers are laid out throughout the day. So this is, she says that she's doing the door prayer now.
Right here. Are you making sujud?
And, again, the pronunciation, she just wants to put the emphasis on the first syllable every single time for some reason. I don't believe they do change clocks during number 6. I don't think they do that there. So she would now be 7 hours ahead. So, well, let's check. Nightbot, what time is it in Kuwait right now? It is 4:43 a.m. 4:43 a.m. So she's probably awake now. That's an interesting point too, Jenny Crafts. The last 3 men she's been in a relationship have been Muslim, yet she knows nothing. Interesting, huh? Like, hasn't picked up much of anything. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what that's about. Good night, Green Dragon.
I really love our little apartment. It's not perfect, but for me it is. And it's just right for the two of us. MashaAllah, I'm so grateful for everything.
We do have to compare the view because normally we're not seeing the window from this angle. However, of course, I do still have the apartment tour video so we can compare the view outside. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't look the same to me, but who knows? Who knows? Okay.
Allah has provided us.
And she is praying here.
You guys, there's a volleyball net here, and we have a ball. Not a volleyball, but
Okay, I guess she's doing like a morning, those morning talk shows. I'm on site here at the beach in Kuwait. Hey, Joan, how are you? Nice to see you. So, a few things you may have noticed, or I'm sure have heard other channels discussing it. And I will, just mention it because it is glaring, and I think it would be, a little more than an oversight to not mention it. That things don't appear to be happening in the correct direction there. And I'm just, that's why I have it locked. That's why I can't enlarge it. There we go. So here's a map, okay? The red up at the top of the screen is where she lives in Kuwait, okay? You'll see towards the bottom left of the screen on the right side of the Red Sea, the west bank of the Red Sea, it says Mecca. This is where she wants to be facing. We face the Kaaba. They're all different. There are all different kinds of methods to determine which way to be, because sometimes you get turned around and you don't really know. I've stayed in hotels that have it'll be on the dresser with like an arrow, so you'll always know which direction to pray in. So I am bringing it up because it is being discussed, and I know people will be looking to this channel to confirm. And sadly, I do have to confirm that it is in the incorrect direction. So in the middle here, I would not rely on Google at all for that. I would not rely on any kind of app on a phone. Pretty much we are advised against using apps on phones because they also have compasses. I have a compass, and it's much more reliable. I wouldn't rely on electronic means or an internet search engine or company to help you decide, which direction to pray in, because it is your prayer. And you never know. You never know what app developers are up to, it's not something you Google. It's not. You're directionally challenged, Rachel. Yeah. Yeah, some people use apps. I've always been advised to stay away from them myself. So in the middle here, it says the Qibla is the fixed direction towards the Kaaba in the Grand Mosque in Mecca, Saudi Arabia. It's the direction which all Muslims face when performing their prayers wherever they are in the world. And I did put the latitude and longitude of the Kaaba. This is the direction that we face in when we pray. And the reason that we face a direction, period, is so that all the Muslims in the world, and there are billions of us, we're all facing in the same direction multiple times per day. There is nothing especially we don't worship the Kaaba. We don't worship the stone inside. We don't worship the mosque. This is just a direction for us all to be focusing at to pray. So that's why. How couldn't she have asked Salah which direction even? Some people have been, and some people have theorized that maybe she didn't really have any room. I disagree with that. Oh, thank you, Em. I appreciate that. Thank you. If it's a clock, she should face 7 for Mecca. She's pointed to 4. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to get too much into the exact angle. Because I know channels are just going to rip it apart. And I don't really want to see my religion used in that way continually. But basically, she's facing towards, I'll bring up the map again. There's no way that Salah doesn't know this. There's no way. So here's the map. So she is where the red dot is here. So she's more or less facing the Persian Gulf. She needs to be turned around, facing towards Mecca, which is at the bottom left of the screen. This is in a totally different direction. I do feel that she could have set up a camera and done it in the correct direction without any difficulty. She would have to set it up somehow to pray like that 5 times a day anyway. So she might be doing it in a different room. I don't know. But still. What she would need to do is just move the table. That table's really in the way. A table's way too big. I mean, a round table when they have like a very small little box for feet. If she had her feet in where we're seeing the corner of the couch where the blue curtain is, her feet there, more or less facing towards us, that would be a lot closer. I'm not going to say that it's, the exact, there are ways to know which direction. There are ways. Many ways. So if she's doing this as to show us the prayer, I wonder about that also, because she's not really showing us anything here. And Muslims who are watching know why I'm saying that. There are specific things that are happening or not happening that tell us that if this is the prayer, if this is actually the prayer, if she's doing it just for demonstration purposes, this wouldn't be it. So I'm not going to go too much into specifics with people about that, because I don't want our prayer, which is very special to us, torn apart on just because it's Chantal. So, but everyone who's Muslim and prays knows what's going on here, and I'm not going to point out the specifics. So it's very clear. So let's be news anchor outside. I'm here at the Kuwait State Park.
Not a volleyball, but we have a ball. So maybe we will come play ball one of these days. Hey guys, very windy day, but it's like 20 degrees Celsius in Kuwait right now. It's very sunny though, so it still feels pretty warm.
Okay, Chantal, why don't we just get the Kuwait weather while we're here, right? Let's see. Exclamation Kuwait gets us the current weather, and we have Weather for Kuwait conditions are fair with a temperature of 59 degrees Fahrenheit or 15 degrees Celsius. The wind is blowing from the west at 3 miles per hour or 5 kilometers per hour, and the current humidity is 42%. There you go, Chantal. Back to you.
But I'm going to show you guys the beach. Look how the water's the beautiful colors. Wow. I wonder if that's like a shipwreck or a ship in the distance.
She said there's a shipwreck in the Persian Gulf. A shipwreck. Right on the coast here. A shipwreck. Okay. That's fasting brain right there. It's a shipwreck. We have to save the people. Salah, get a boat. Let's row out there and save the people. Shipwreck. I mean, scuba over to investigate. Oh my god.
This is right near us. I can't believe it.
You can't believe it? Why not? Aren't you there all the time? What do you mean? She's been to this beach a lot. What do you mean? Guys, I'm just gonna say, okay, if you're done with Chantal, if you need a break, it's okay to take a break. Making big announcements that you can no longer possibly deal with Chantal and anyone covering her or anything, it's fine. You don't have to announce. It makes things awkward. Okay? You can just step out, you know? Chantal, what about the shipwreck? I almost said train wreck. What about the shipwreck? Aren't you going to help those people out there, Chantal? Aren't you going to swim out there and help them? Oh, she looks so uncomfortable. Not flattering.
Ew. It's kind of cool looking though. Here, little alien. This is a beetle. A type of beetle.
What is wrong with this guy? What is wrong with this guy? Stop touching animals, insects, anything. Keep your hands to yourself. Stop. Stop. Salah. Oh, God. Look at him. He's poking it.
Doesn't mind. Oh, okay.
Doesn't mind, Chantal. See, this is the emotional intelligence we're dealing with here. You struggle to hold a cat that's like clawing you to get away. Oh, no, she loves me. Poking at an insect. Oh, it doesn't mind. It's running away from him. Oh, my God.
Look, guys, I'm touching grass. All right.
That's true, Jeff. It's more stimulating than her normal content. Let that sink in. You know, when I saw this, I was pretty excited to see the bug. I was like, ooh, I really was. That's sad. It's true, though.
So while I'm sitting here, I just wanted to talk to you guys a bit about, you know, what the spirit of Ramadan really is, especially for me. So Ramadan is not about, you know, how fancy of decorations you have or how fancy of dress you have, or how big of meals you prepare. It's actually just meant to be a time of spiritual growth, of growing closer to Allah. And it's a time for reflection, a time for fasting, a time for appreciation. And it's a time to be modest in everything, in every way, and just commit yourself to Allah, doing a lot of praying those extra prayers, and just focusing on prayer and your relationship with Allah. That's all that Ramadan really should be about.
I just want to send her an article. Like, could you just read this one article? You know, if you're going to do a whole series of videos on a religion's holiday that lasts a whole month, could you look into it maybe a little bit more? Maybe give a little more information. It's very, I think this is what most people already might know about Ramadan, Like, offer something from a personal perspective if you can.
I know we have like a few decorations, but we didn't go all out. We just kind of, again, we just want to focus on basically what the focus of the spirit of Ramadan really is, and that's really just your relationship with Allah. Another thing that's really important with Ramadan is a time for giving and charity. So that's another thing that's very, very important during this time. So, All right, guys, so I'm gonna.
And that's it on that. Yeah, it's a lot of charity. Yeah. So anyway, guys, catch you next time. Yeah. Charity is one of the 5 pillars of Islam, and Ramadan is definitely at the end of Ramadan at Eid is a big charity time. Time to eat. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Yeah. Charity is a big thing, and if we talk about the things that we have done or are doing for charity, and we talk about it publicly, it's said that you receive your reward here in this lifetime rather than in the afterlife. So it is best to keep the majority of that to yourself. It's also said that sometimes it is good to share a little bit because it can motivate others to also participate in charitable acts.
And the video here. I hope you enjoyed this vlog. There will be more to come, and I really appreciate you watching. So thank you so much, and Ramadan Kareem to all my brothers and sisters and everyone else. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Stay blessed.
Oh God, that was loud. That was real loud. Stay blessed. She told us to stay blessed. Thanks, Chantal. So this picture looks a little, I don't know. Looks a little out of place. I don't know. Oh, they're holding hands, though. They are holding hands. That's interesting. I thought we weren't supposed to see any public affection here. What's going on? There is some hand holding. Or is he just keeping you upright so you don't fall over, maybe? Is he photoshopped in? Shall we run it through the forensic scanner and see? To know for sure. She's not looking well. I know, right, Jen? She's not looking well at all. Yeah. They both look rough, yeah. You think it's an old pic? But it's her new outfit, though. She's very far back. Thanks for watching. You're welcome. Our pleasure. That's some weird music, huh? It's like elevator music, sort of. Or like the old department store music. It's just her randomly walking by. Okay, I guess. Okay. I suppose. Jilbab. She called it a jilbab. Picture of them or her alone. Yeah. Here we are together, guys. I told you we're together. We really are together, I promise. Smooth jazz. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Unless Salah is doing something I can laugh at, I would prefer not to see or hear him. I agree with you. Here you are. We know a little too much about Salah now, and I don't I don't like what I know. I'm not interested in getting to know him further at all. She posted a video 30 minutes ago. What the fork? Let's take a look. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. If it's over 15 minutes, we'll do it tomorrow. We'll see. Is it a mukbang? Because those aren't fun. For me, anyway. Let's see. Everyday Miriam. It's eating. Beef stew and cheese sandwiches for iftar. 26 minutes, 48 seconds. Yeah, I think we'll do that tomorrow. If you don't mind, guys. I think we'll do that tomorrow. We'll have plenty to talk about. She's wearing the same exact outfit. We're probably going to see her in that nonstop. So I think that will do it for this evening. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate you hanging out with me as always. As always. And here again is our little, they're all kind of piled up there on the sofa in the back. Yep. And the pretty little owl in the red dress is from BB True. I think she also sent the one with the scarf. That might be Worshniffer, the one in the front. I'm not sure. But yeah, very, very cute little girly owl, BB True. Thank you. Thank you for your contribution so much. Thank you. Thank you, Callie Cat. Yeah. So let me just go through and thank Big Turks and Quick Twerks for gifting an Are You Serious membership. BB True gifted 2 memberships this evening. And Just Jamie gifted a membership. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for helping the nest to grow. It is much appreciated. And please hit the like button on the way out if you enjoyed this evening's content. I'm doing the best I can to bring you what I can with very little energy, but hey, it's happening. It's happening. It'll get better. It'll get better over the next few days, I promise. Okay, everyone. Thank you, guys. Thank you. I'll talk to you soon. Okay, bye-bye.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Alright, guys, see you soon and goodbye.